What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Life of Opportunity. Sergio Suarez here with another video. Today, we're going to be talking about Amazon FBA, specifically private label, and a little bit of a case study that I want to do. But before we begin, I want to remind you, just go ahead and hit that subscribe button, click the little bell notification so you can get notified when my next case study videos come out. With that being said, if you're not familiar with Amazon FBA, I'm not going to cover that in this video. I would suggest that you just maybe go and check out other videos. There's a lot of videos on YouTube that describe what Amazon FBA is, or Amazon and what private label specifically is. So I don't want to waste anybody's time by explaining it. If you're watching this video, you probably know what it is, and you're probably wanting to learn exactly the procedure and wanting to get started. So you're probably just a beginner. I do want to start saying by Amazon FBA private label is definitely a very, very profitable and a viable business opportunity. It's an opportunity that allows you to really grow, especially if you find a product and the product that you're passionate about. You can take this business into a lot of different levels. So you might be asking, why am I doing this case study? Well, my Amazon business has finally allowed me to put aside a little bit of cash and finally invest in my first product. I've studied this business model for just about 2 years now, and I've never really quite pulled the trigger on the private label sector, private label business part of Amazon FBA. As most of you know, if you're a subscriber to this channel, I do do Amazon FBA with retail arbitrage, but not quite with private label yet. That being said, I've done a lot of research. I've done and I've taken a lot of courses on this topic. So courses, I've paid a lot of money for courses to take for this topic. And that being said, that's I think part of the reason why I slowed down and I wasn't able to invest or start this business sooner. And everybody that gets into this business and does it successfully, the first thing they say is, I wish I would have started sooner. But that's just simply not the reality for a lot of people, especially with beginners who are limited on money. So I want to just do this case study. I want you to follow along with me. And I'm going to provide you this content absolutely free. And if you trust my research, I mean, I don't have any numbers to back it up yet, but we're going to do this together. We're going to you can follow along with me, subscribe to the channel, and make sure you hit that bell notification so that you get reminded of the next video that comes out, and then you can keep following along with me. And if you want to do this with me, I mean, that'd be great. I'd love to know and actually connect with some of you guys if you are doing this journey with me, this case study. So if you are, go ahead and comment below, say, hey, I'm in, and I'm going to be following you. And that'd be awesome. I just love to see how many people would actually be interested in taking this journey with me. Now, I'm doing this from Canada, and obviously the title is Amazon FBA Canada, but this can be done anywhere. If you're in the US especially, that's the best place to be. But if you're in Canada, Europe, I mean, almost anywhere in the world, you can do this business. That's the beauty of Amazon FBA. It could be done worldwide in any marketplace. Myself, I'll be utilizing the US market. That is a place I really highly suggest. They've got such an established Amazon market. I mean, there's 300 or close to 400 million people in the US, and I think something like 20% of them own an Amazon Prime account. So I mean, you can't argue those numbers. So it's definitely a great place to get started, is the US marketplace. So if you're from Canada, Europe, or any other place other than US, believe me, it's not hard to get started in the US. There's a couple of little extra steps we have to take to do that, but it's really easy. And I will go through all that throughout this case study. So this first video I wanted to start with is basically product research, because that's the first and probably the most important part of this Amazon private label. Without the right product, I mean, no matter what you do, you could be a great marketer, you could be a great business person. Without the right product, without the right passion for the product, you're simply just not going to do well in this business. So my first video will be that. It might even be 2 or 3 videos. I don't know yet. I'm just going to kind of wing it with the videos, but I want to start with product research first. So before we jump into Amazon and we start the product research part, I want to introduce to you one software, and I promise you this is the only paid software you're going to have to use. It's not even a lot of money to begin with. You're only going to need to pay for the first month. And then once you find your product, which really shouldn't take you more than a month, then you can cancel the subscription until you're ready to move on with another product. This software I'm going to introduce to you is I really highly suggest using it. It's a software that it's really going to shorten the process. I mean, it already, even with the app, it could take you weeks to find that just right product. There's so many products, so many different opportunities on Amazon, but there's ways of doing it without the software. And I'm just going to say the software is called Jungle Scout, but without it, I mean, there is ways. It just takes too long. It's too manual. I would highly suggest using this, the Jungle Scout Chrome extension. And I'm not talking about using the software. I mean, you can use it. The problem with using the software for me, and you're going to see a lot of private labelers say this on their YouTube channels, is that it's simply just what everybody else is doing. And when you're doing the product research that everybody else is doing, and everybody's putting in the same criterias, and you're coming up with the same lists, I mean, it's becoming harder and harder to find products. So the way I'm finding products is strictly just on the Amazon website using the Jungle Scout Chrome extension. Now, the Chrome extension is actually quite affordable. It's only about, I believe, $20 a month right now. And, like I said, you only need it for the first month to find your first product. Now, I've got a link down below. It is an affiliate link. The affiliate link comes at no extra cost to you. But it will help me out to continue to provide you this free content and this free case study. So with that being said, let's jump into Amazon. Okay, here we are in the Amazon.com website. Like I said, I highly suggest starting with the Amazon.com. No matter where you are, it's the biggest Amazon market. Probably second place would probably be the UK market. So if you're from the UK, I would definitely I would suggest starting in the UK. If you're from Canada, which this is what the video is basically, where I'm based out of, and then what the video was created for Canadians. It's created for everybody, but the title is Amazon FBA Canada. I would suggest doing them in the US marketplace. There's simply just a lot more. Yes, there's a lot more competition, but there's a lot more opportunity as well, a lot more purchasers in the US marketplace. You can do this in Canada, though. That being said, I mean, it's totally doable, but your growth might be a little slower than if you were to go right into the US marketplace. So here we are in Amazon.com. And basically, what I like to do is I like to just go ahead and pick a category. And I mean, the way I did this, and like I said, I've already picked my first category, and I'm a couple steps ahead, but I'm going to walk you through what I did to find my product. So I have found a product. I've reached out to manufacturers already, and I've already received a sample. But that being said, I'm still going to walk you through the process that I went through to find my certain product. And obviously it started with product research. So I like to pick, I would suggest picking a category that you're a little bit passionate about. I mean, the more passionate you are about the product, the more you're going to stand behind it, the more you're going to be able to market it, especially through social media. So I would say, like if you're interested in, I don't know, if you love cooking, then maybe you can go into the kitchen category. Or if you love arts and crafts, then you can go into the arts and crafts category. If you're passionate about babies, maybe you can come up with the baby product that you can do. So for myself, I really like the home and kitchen category. So I'm going to go ahead and select the home and kitchen. And once you've selected the home and kitchen, all you've got to do in the search bar is you're going to actually hit the minus button, or dash, I guess. And you're just going to type in a bunch of random keys. Doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be anything specific. Just smash the keyboard. And what that's going to do is basically it's going to pull up a search in that category, but not what you typed in. So minus what you've typed in, and really what you've typed in is nothing. So it's really going to show you everything. So it's going to pull up a list of everything in the home and kitchen category. We're going to hit search. And here we are in the home and kitchen category. And as you can see, you can go through here and you're going to see a lot of different products. Now you can choose a sub category here in the home and kitchen if you prefer. If you're interested more in kitchen and dining, like I said, if you were interested in cooking, Then you could do kitchen and dining. Let's say you can do, bath if you love, you love taking baths, or there's a lot, you love storage and organization. I know my wife does, so that would be a good category for her. But let's go ahead. Yeah, you know what? Let's go ahead and storage and organization. I don't think I've actually ever really looked in there. So here we are in storage and organization. And as you can see, tons of different products in here. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the Jungle Scout Chrome app extension, sorry. And you can see it's this little JS here. This is, like I said, the only thing you need to really do well in this product research. So I'm going to go ahead and click on it. And what it's going to do, basically, it's going to pull up all sorts of information based on the listings that were on the page. So it's going to list all the listings that were on that page. It's going to show you, the price that the product is going for. It's going to show you their monthly sales. It's going to show you their daily sales and their monthly revenue. These are very accurate numbers. I've watched many, many videos on people that have done private label. They've showed their actual sales numbers. They've pulled up the Chrome extension, and I think they were within 10% accuracy, which is, it's very, very good. So Jungle Scout is definitely the best extension you can use. There are other ones out there. I'm not sure about them. I've only used Jungle Scout. I think there's like Helium 10 is another really popular one that a lot of private labelers love using. But, for this purpose, I love Jungle Scout. I've always used Jungle Scout. So what I'm going to do here is, obviously, I've got a ton of different types of products here. Up in the menu here, you can actually filter. We're going to do a little bit of a filtration, Now, we're going to pick a price that you want your product to be. Now, this is a very crucial part. You don't want your price to be so low that you're going to sacrifice profits, but you don't want your price to be so high that it's going to cost you a lot, especially for your first product, to manufacture. So, I would say you don't want anything lower than $15 or $16. So let's just throw in, $15.75. And I'm going to throw a random number in there. And the reason I'm throwing a random number in there is so that it kind of shows us different results than everybody else. Basically, everybody's going to probably type in, 16 to 30 or whatever it is, 16 to 80. Well, if by throwing a random number in there, I might just throw in some extra little, products that maybe other people won't catch. So the next, the price height, I would like to stay, I don't know, between 15 and I'd say about 40. So I'm going to throw in 39.75, let's say. Now, reviews, I'm going to want some reviews. We want people with some reviews, but we also don't want people with too many reviews. So I want to see products that have at least, one review. Let's say we have at least one review, but we don't want any products showing that have more than, let's say, 500 reviews. Anything over 500 reviews for me, especially for my first product, I think I would be a little bit worried about competing, especially against someone with more than 500 reviews. That just gets difficult to maybe compete, and you might have too many of those people with high reviews in the first page, which is a really bad thing because you will never get to that point. And hey, I'm not never, you might be able to, but it would just be very difficult. Now, lowest sales, I want to throw some sales in there because I definitely want to see something that has sales, right? So I want to see something with at least 100 sales. Lowest revenue, I want to see products that are bringing in at least some revenue. That means that this is, something that's worth going for. It's something that's being sold and making money. So I would say the lowest revenue that I want to see at least, and it depends on your goals. I mean, if your goal is to bring in $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a month in revenue, then just put that in as your lowest revenue. If you're trying to bring it in profit, then you might have to do a couple more calculations. But at this point, we don't even know what we're selling yet. So let's just say that, I want to see things that are bringing in at least $5,000 in revenue. Now, the highest revenue, I don't really care. I through the roof. Next, we're going to go to weight. Weight, you don't want something too heavy. If you have something too heavy, it's going to cost you too much to ship it. Chances are we're probably going to get this manufactured overseas. I mean, you can get it manufactured locally in US or Canada or wherever you are, but those costs are just going to be too much, and it's a lot cheaper to probably manufacture it over in China or in other countries that are able to manufacture this for you. So the highest amount of weight, I don't like to have a product that's going to weigh more than 1 pound, or maybe let's say 2 pounds. We'll look at everything. Maybe that'll broaden it out a little bit more. But if I can stick to something under a pound, I'm definitely going to try. Okay, once you have that, I would just hit apply, and you're probably wondering, okay, nothing happened. Well, that's because we got to load more results. Okay, sorry about that. I had to actually move the the browser over to my bigger screen because for some reason on my laptop the Jungle Scout Chrome extension was just not was too big. But anyways, so here we are, and you're like you said, oh, okay, I got no products basically. That's because we need to load more pages. So none of the products on the first page are actually going to meet our criteria. So if we just keep hitting load pages, and I would keep loading enough pages till you see a good list of products. This might take a while, but you know what? It's just part of the process. So what I would do, I would just keep loading pages until you have at least 20 results. That might take 10 pages. That might take 20 pages. If you're finding that it's taking way too long, you're not finding any results with any pages, then I would maybe just widen some of those criteria. So maybe you can do, something that has a little bit higher revenue, or has, just broaden your search criteria, your filters a little bit more. So I'll be back as soon as I've loaded some results. Okay, so I've got a couple of results here. I kind of lost my patience, so I don't quite have a lot of results. But I mean, for the purposes of this video, I think I have enough here to kind of run you through a couple of different products. I did actually broaden my search results here in the filter a little bit. I brought the review counts to up to 750. That didn't, I don't think, that didn't really affect any of my search results, other than the last one, it looks like. And then I also brought the revenue down to 2,000, which again, that didn't really affect anything. It really did take, quite a bit of clicks to get this many results, but that's because we have very specific criteria, and that's going to help us to become profitable here with our first product. So what I want to do is I want to kind of run through some my thought process on some of these products in the Jungle Scout Chrome extension. So I'm just going to widen this out a little bit so it's maybe a little bit easier to see. Oops. Here. Yeah, second. No, it doesn't want to widen out anymore. Okay, so if I look at the first product, you hover over the first product here, you're going to see what the listing looks like. So you're going to see the photo. It's got the, beeswax food wrap, 6-pack, durable, eco-friendly, organic, and reusable food wrap. I mean, okay, very interesting. If you're interested in, home and what am I in here? Storage and organization. This could be a very intriguing product. The price point is right around my range. I said I wanted something between 15 to 40. So I find that's kind of the sweet spot especially for a first product. I mean, you can move up to more expensive products later on when you've established it. But the big thing I see here, and this is very, very intriguing, is that there's 973 monthly sales already. These guys have launched this at the beginning of January of this year. So it is March 6th. So, only in a matter of just over 2 months, they've managed to do 973 monthly sales, 33 daily sales, and they're bringing in a monthly revenue of $16,000. That's pretty impressive. So I really like that. And so basically this is telling me that there's definitely a demand for this. People are buying these beeswax food wraps, probably because they're like a natural wax versus, maybe a chemical wax or something that's out there, something that's kind of could be bad for you. I see the word biodegradable in there. That's a huge market right now. People are loving the, biodegradable. People are trying to be, a little bit more earth friendly. So definitely an exciting product actually right here. 16,000. This column here is basically showing their net. This is calculating basically what they're paying for. Actually, let's just go ahead and click on this profit calculator and we can run through it. So if you click on the net, you can see it's in orange, so it's clickable. It's going to run you through all the details here. So this is 0.34 pounds. So less than half a pound. It's giving you the product dimensions, the product price. Here's the Amazon fulfillment fee. So there are fees, obviously, with Amazon. If you know anything about FBA, there are fees because they're virtually doing everything for you. So they are going to take a fee for doing that. There's a referral fee, and then this is the total of these two: FBA fulfillment fee and the referral fee. So your total fees you're going to pay is $4.96. So if you take the $16 that they're selling it for, I think they're selling it for $16.99 minus the $4.96, they net you with $12.03. Now the product cost is not known yet, and you won't know this until you go to your manufacturer and you actually get a price. But let's just say for an example, you have and you're already at this stage and you know how much it's going to cost you. Let's say this costs you per pack, it's going to cost you even $2. I think that would be actually really high for this product. But just to say, that's what it is. If you hit the calculator, it's going to calculate your profits. So $10 at $10 profit per product. We go back to here, we know they're selling $973. So, I mean, they're almost bringing in $10,000 worth of profit a month already, and they have launched in 2 months ago. So, I mean, this is a very, very intriguing product. I'm almost, you know, it's a shame that I didn't find this off of the YouTube. I mean, this is kind of interesting. So, those of you that are just getting started, this might be an intriguing product to look into, or something similar to this. Check this out, guys. They only have got 81 reviews, and they're doing this. So basically, the way I look at reviews is competition, and the higher the reviews, the more that's going to be a hard competitor to compete with, if that makes sense. So, if you're looking at down here, this guy, 632 reviews. That's quite a bit of reviews. For me to get into this, electric lunchbox, another very interesting product. I don't like electronics. There's too many, there's too much room for error, and there's a very high return rate. So I try to stay away from anything electronics. But I mean, 632 reviews. He's doing quite well. I'm not saying that's not competitive. I can't compete against that. I mean, absolutely, I could compete against that. If I come up with a better and different product, then definitely I can compete against that. And you want to be different. You want to differentiate, and I'll get into that in a little bit later. But yeah, I mean, 81 reviews is not very competitive. They've got 5-star rating, whatever. As long as it sounds like, if they have a 5-star rating, that they're doing everything pretty good. If they have a lower rating, that's pretty awesome, because then you can go and check out exactly why they're not giving them a 5-star, what people are complaining about, and maybe improve on that product. But like I said, I'll get into that a little bit later. So what I would do in this case is I would open this product up in a new tab, and I think I would let's dig a little deeper in this. Okay, so here we are. We're on their listing. I mean, it seems like a pretty decent listing. I don't know if it's just my computer or not, but the photos, oh, there we go. Okay, so the photos are not bad. They're pretty decent. Looking at it, they've got some information here on, why to choose beeswax, food wraps. I definitely would want to check to make sure that this is not a patent product. That's definitely very, very important. You don't want to get, in trouble with anybody. So there are ways of finding patents. If you're not familiar with it, just Google it, or I might have a video at this point by the time you're watching on a patent, but check out if it's not patent, and if not, then this really seems like a really good product, and their pictures are pretty decent. I'm not sure that they took them their own pictures, or if they just took it from the manufacturer's listing on Alibaba, but I mean, they're not too bad. They look pretty good. Their description looks pretty decent, so it seems like they're doing a pretty decent job on their listing. Got a decent enough description. I'm not going to read through it right now, but one thing I want to show you here is the BSR, or bestseller rank. So basically, the bestseller rank means, how well are they selling? Where do they rank in the world of Amazon? Well, in this case, Amazon US. And you can see here that they're 4,746 in all of kitchen and dining. Now, kitchen and dining is probably a very competitive category. So, I mean, there's a lot of products, and there's probably in the hundreds of thousands, if not millions, and they're doing their 4,000th. So that's actually really not bad. So that's probably why, and that's why they're doing so great. The reason I show you this is because I want to explain what bestseller rank means to you, in because we know these guys are already doing really, really, really well with Jungle Scout, but basically how bestseller rank works is that the more you sell, the more your rank is going to drop, and you want to be the closest to number one as possible, because you want to be the number one best selling thing in that category. That's the absolute best scenario, right? Hard to do, but not impossible, obviously. But so they're, out of millions, they're 4,746 or 45 spots away from number one. So, they're not bad. That's doing pretty good out of, like I said, hundreds of thousands, if not, millions of products. I don't know how many products there are, but they're doing pretty decent. The second category right here is it's a subcategory, so I wouldn't pay too much attention to that. They're in number 52, but I mean, that is such a, sub category. That's such a far down subcategory that it really doesn't matter. But anyways, next thing I would do is I actually look in their title. They're going to contain a keyword, right? So the keyword is basically what the product is. What are people going to be searching in the search bar for this product? And for me, it would be a beeswax food wrap. So I would take this keyword or keywords, copy, and I'm going to put it in the search bar. And I'm going to go to all departments because I want to see what other guys are selling, how many other people are selling this out there. So I'm going to hit search. And as you can see, there's other listings selling, reusable beeswax food wraps, or beeswax food wraps in this case, because that's what my search term was. You want to find a search term with the least amount of words as possible without, but you still want to make sense. It still you want it to be the product, right? Like if I was to go ahead and just type in food wrap, I mean, that would have took me just like something completely different, right? But as long as I typed in beeswax food wrap, so that's specific enough, but not so long that it gets complicated. You know what I mean? You want to get to the most broadest keyword you can possible without sacrificing what the product actually is, right? So here we are. So it looks like there's a lot of different people. The first three here are sponsored products. We're going to ignore those. We don't care. These are paid advertisers that are, paying for the first three spots. We want to look at these guys here, right? We're looking at these other guys. One of the first things I like to look at is I look at the results. 808 results. That is not a lot. Like I said, out of probably hundreds of thousands of products, there's only 808 people, listings that are related to this keyword. Not all of them are going to be exactly that product, but that's very, very low. So I like seeing that. If you're below 1,000, that's very, very good. If you're below even 5,000, I mean, that's, I think, pretty decent, especially for your first product. But if you can keep it below 1,000, that's very, very good. So I'm liking this product, actually. So here's all the listings. And the next thing I would do is I would actually just go ahead and pull up the Jungle Scout app. And we're just going to let that load. And we're going to look at all the numbers. We're going to look at what everybody under this keyword that has a, beeswax food wrap listing, we're going to see how they're doing and see exactly what their numbers are pulling, how competitive this market is. And I'll run you through all that once this is loading. My internet is being a little slow, so it's still loading up. But yeah, just off the bat here, the first thing I would like to do after opening Jungle Scout, still loading, sorry, is I'd like to go through the first, 10 or 15 listings and make sure that they actually are relatable to what I'm looking for. So, this all looks 15-pack beeswax wrap and silicone food storage. Yeah, okay. These guys just took a little bit of a spin and added some bags, I guess, some food storage bags. But yeah, this beeswax. So anything that's not related to what you're looking for, I would remove by just hitting the X over here. but I think most of these look like exactly the product. So I guess I'll just go ahead and look at it. So right off the bat, I'm looking at price ranges here. They do range a little bit. I mean, this product here has only got a $9.99 rating. They're probably a very simple product. They're only a 4-pack. They only probably contain so many sizes. So, maybe I'm gonna go ahead and remove that. That's kind of not within my criteria. The rest of these seem to be. The first one is not really in my criteria either. They got a bit of a low price range, so I'm gonna go ahead and get out of that. But the rest of these seem to be pretty decent. This guy's a little bit low, but that's okay. We can keep him. And just kind of looking through this whole thing, the first thing I actually like to do is actually like to go straight to the competition. How many reviews do people have here? And if you look at it, they're not very many. I mean, I would like to keep, I don't know, 5 out of the 10 or 7 out of the first top 15 below 500 reviews. And as you can see, that's definitely what we're getting here. So competition is actually not too bad. This is definitely a very decent product. Monthly revenues. I mean, look at these numbers. They're not bad. I mean, some of these guys look like they're just getting started, or actually this guy's been around for a while. I'm not sure why. He's only got 1 review. He's doing pretty low numbers. Maybe he ran out of inventory. Just hasn't had an optimized listing. I mean, there's a lot of reasons this could be, but I'm looking at majority of these. There's definitely a couple of guys doing some really big numbers. This guy that had the reusable bags with the beeswax food wrap, and this guy I think maybe has the same thing. No, he just has a 5-pack reusable food wraps, biodegradable, sustainable. Maybe he's got a great design, but I mean, those two have got some pretty high, not high, not pretty high, but decent amount of reviews. And I mean, look at these numbers. I mean, this guy's doing 52,000 off of a monthly revenue on 463 reviews, which is quite a bit, but not crazy. He's doing 2,304 sales a month. Around that $22.99 price range. I really like the 20 to 30 price range. I really like that. That's a nice price range. It usually means that you can get a decent enough, cheap enough product produced for a decent enough profit. So, I mean, this is not a terrible product. I mean, seems pretty decent. This is the other guy that's, doing the food. Looks like someone's kind of hijacked this guy's idea by doing some reusable food wraps. So, he's doing it too. He's only got 11 reviews, but I mean, even with only 11 reviews, he's doing 2,600 in sales. He just launched in January 15th, so he's been around for just over a month. He's not doing too bad. This guy here, I mean, look at this, 1 review and he's doing 4,000. He's launched in November. I'm not sure, but like, again, I don't know why he wouldn't be doing more, but hey, you never know what's going on there. Moving on down, it does get a little bit low on these monthly revenues. Moving on down here, so these kind of scare me. I like to see a little bit more consistency with the higher revenues, a little bit more above maybe 5,000, 6,000, maybe even 10,000 a month. In this case, I'm seeing, I don't know, 1, 2 guys that are really doing well, and the other guys are just kind of, or 3, I guess, and the other guys are just kind of hanging in there out of this top, I guess 9 or 10. So that's a little bit concerning. To me, that's telling me that, it might be, these guys might be just taking up all the business. I don't know. Maybe it's hard to tell. Maybe these guys just don't have a decent enough product. Or they just haven't been around. This is very new. I mean, everybody's got really low ratings. So these numbers, they're not very high yet. So they're pretty decent this is definitely a pretty decent numbers for a starting product. I mean, with only 30 to 36 reviews, they're still doing 2,000 in revenue. If they're bringing in, 159 sales, times that by $10, they're still doing, 1,500 in profit. So that's pretty decent. And I'm doing the $10 just based off of what my calculations were the last time we checked on this with the other product. But I think this is definitely a decent product to start with to get your feet wet. You can probably get the product manufactured for, gosh, I bet you could do it for under $1 with they're just beeswax paper. So it'd be probably pretty easy to to do in the manufacturer. So you can get it for pretty cheap. So definitely a decent product to look into. I don't normally pay attention to these upper bars. These, they're okay. I mean, you could see, the averages. They're just averages. I like to look right into each product, right? So yeah, that's the first product. Let's jump into another product. Okay, so we're back here at the original window where we had all the different products pulled up. And the next thing on the list here, we have a Huasheng wall-mounted pot lid organizer. Very interesting product here. Just kind of glancing over the stats here. This thing sells for $37. This guy's doing 293 sales a month. I don't know why the daily sales are saying 0. If I click on it, it'll actually pull up a chart here. It looks like he might have actually probably run out of stock, maybe, because he's, his sales kind of really skyrocketed. And, maybe he only had maybe 100 units and ran out. So it might have been just a test for him and realized, holy man, that sold a lot quicker than possible. So he's got to go replenish. So that's probably why he's at 0. But if you look at it, I mean, he's done. So he launched Christmas Day, looks like. And, he's doing 293 sales, $10,000. To $10,835 in monthly revenue. So that's pretty decent. And he's only got 22 reviews. Like I said, he's a very new seller. He's doing $10,000 a month in revenue already. Very intriguing product. This is definitely something that meets my criteria. So I'm going to go ahead and open this in a new window. Okay, here we are in the next product. It's this is definitely, when you get these Huasheng and these kind of funny names, these are probably, here's a Jesse by Huasheng. These are probably Chinese manufacturers just coming up with their own listings. Really, they're creating their own listings, and this is not necessarily a bad thing. Doesn't mean you can't compete against them. It just means that they're just doing what you're doing, right? They've got a product, they want to sell it, and they're putting it on Amazon. So yeah, check this out. He's only got 3 left in stock, which is quite interesting. But this might be good because usually these listings, they're not very good, and you could definitely probably top their listing and make it a lot better. Probably make better photography, which, although this photography is not terrible, but it's actually a neat little product. But it only looks like it only carries 1 lid, which is quite interesting. But it does have a little hanger for some things. So it's definitely a different product. There's obviously some demand for it if they're making $10,000 worth of sales. So again, I like to just browse the listing a little bit. This is a different app I have called Canva. It's pretty neat. It actually shows you over time, what their rating was, what the listing price was. This is something I'll review maybe a little bit later. But I mean, yeah, look at this listing. I mean, it's not great. I haven't read through it, but being that it's probably from a Chinese manufacturer, the English might not be perfect. We scroll down. Descriptions doesn't seem too bad. The rating is not terrible, but that's again because it doesn't seem like they were making they look like they ran out of inventory, or I don't know what it is. But 120,000 is still not bad. It's not great, but it's not bad. I mean, especially when with those kind of numbers that they were showing. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take the wall mounted pot lid organizer. So I'm guessing this is probably our keyword, and it's probably the most narrowest keyword that we can get. So I'm going to go ahead and paste it in here. We're going to go to all departments, and we're going to search, and we're going to see, oh, what happened here? Did I not? Sorry, give me a sec. Let me copy and paste this back here. There we go. Go to all departments. Oh, I already was. And let's hit search. So let's see what we find. I want to see how many people out there are selling this and what kind of money people are making. Okay, so this is interesting. I mean, there's only one of that specific kind of product, as you can see right here. But there's definitely a lot of different kinds of products that look a little bit different. They look like they're all lid holders. I only see the one listing that we were just looking at that has that exact same. There's another one that's, I guess, close to. But I mean, hey, sometimes this it could be interesting to look into some of even these other ones, right? So you'll type a keyword and you might find other ideas just by going on to by searching them. So let's go ahead and pull up Jungle Scope. Okay, here we are. We have Jungle Scope pulled up with all our numbers. And again, the first thing I like to do, just kind of browse through the listings, make sure it's something, everything, the first 10, 15 products are exactly what we're looking for. It's related to our keyword. Yeah, I think that's related. It's not exactly, they're not all the exact same, which is okay. There's a bunch of different types. So there you go. That's okay. So they all look pretty decent. And looking at the listing, I mean, number one listing here, he's got kind of a wall mount, different, like it's kind of a metalish, metal type wall mount or door. It's a, what is it? Deco Bros wall door mount pot lid rack. Okay. So looking at the numbers quickly, again, I like to go right over to the reviews. Couple of guys here with some pretty high reviews, but again, I mean, this product is so, different that it doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing. It looks like you could really differentiate yourself in this product. So, I mean, I wouldn't be too scared about those big numbers. It's actually, and to kind of back that up, you look at some of these smaller numbers, like these smaller reviews, and look at the numbers they're bringing in. This guy's only got 48 reviews, and he's doing $12,858 in monthly revenue, and pretty simple product that he's got there, and he's doing pretty decent. So there's definitely demand for this product. This is another decent product, I think, that we're looking at. This guy here, he's got a 2-pack, so he's differentiated himself by adding a 2-pack. There, it seems like it's almost like he took one of the long ones, cut it in half, and called it a 2-pack. But hey, whatever, man. I mean, if it works, it works. He's doing $31,000 in monthly revenue, so it's obviously working for him. He's a little more established. I mean, he's been around since 2016, but this is an interesting one. 22 reviews and he's doing 10,000. I mean, this is promising, right? That's really, really promising. What's he got here? Oh, that's the same guy that brought us in over here. This is interesting. This guy's got, 1,945 reviews and only doing 24,000. I don't know. Sometimes the numbers are a little bit weird. I don't know why. I guess his price point is quite kind of low, but not low enough that he should be doing, he's doing terrible numbers like that. He must have just a poor product, or by looks of it, he almost looks like he has a poor listing. Definitely something, when later on when we do listings, it would be interesting to pull this listing back up and see just how bad it is. I'm just curious to see what the listing looks like, so I'm just gonna jump into it here. Oh yeah, just a terrible listing. I mean, he's got no description, a couple of small little bullet points, just this, nothing really interesting in the just metal pot lid rack. I mean, I wouldn't buy this product. Photos aren't too bad, but I mean, Amazon gives you like 7 or 8 photos. I highly suggest, you take full advantage of all the photos. Um, yeah, not a great, just, oh, terrible photos. Actually, this one's pretty bad. So it's a terrible, terrible listing. Even though he has some, lot of reviews, it's just a horrible listing. Weird. Yeah, it's just, I don't get it. Kind of an odd. But anyways, we'll get into listings later on. Just very interesting. Anyways, but yeah, I mean, scrolling down here a little further, you've got a couple of guys. You got this guy. He's got 387, doing pretty decent. 12,400. So it's not bad. You got a couple guys up here with 0, doing 420. Who knows what's going on there? So this is why sometimes I like to filter and make sure I have, you have a minimum of at least, 20 reviews or something. And at least it gives you a little bit of better numbers. Um, this guy's got 75 with 0, 76 with only 700. So these numbers worry me a little bit when you're seeing those kind of numbers, but I mean, who knows why? Because you got these guys here doing, 66 reviews. He's doing $6,000. Got a pretty similar product. Oh, this is actually quite a unique product. His is a little bit different than others, but so, I mean, still for a first product, this might not be bad. Might be a little bit competitive to get up to the top, maybe 5 or 6, but I think you could get, looking at the rest of these numbers, I think you can get into the first page, definitely ahead of a lot of these other guys. So it seems like a bit of an untapped market, not too bad. It's definitely worth looking into as a first product for sure. Well, there you have it. There's a little bit of product research that I've done with you. I think this will be part one. I don't want to stretch this video out too far. So part one will be, we've kind of looked through and you've kind of got an idea of what kind of the expectations you're looking for, the criteria you're looking for a product. So what I would suggest is go out now, do exactly what I did, and write yourself down maybe a list of 10 or 15 products. Hey, maybe even 20 products that you think that are pretty decent, that meet your criteria, that you think that might be a good starter product. And then in video number 2 for product research, we'll dig a little bit deeper, and I'll show you how you can maybe even narrow those down a little bit until you find that perfect product. There'll be even more criteria that we're going to look at to find just that perfect product for you to launch as your first product. So just a reminder, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell notification. That'll notify you when the second video comes out. And with that being said, thanks for joining me today. If you liked the content, please hit the thumbs up. It would really help. And we'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye.